Well, good day, viewers. I'm Kamal Haynes of 284 Media, and today we have yet another special featured interview. For those who may be wondering my present location, I'm at the E. Walwyn Bruley softball field, and as you can see behind me, we have the legend, the late Terrence Chino Chinnery. As you can see his photo right here. Obviously reminding persons of the legend as they walk into this great facility. Well, today, viewers, we will be interviewing two special persons who are creating history for the British Virgin Islands, who will be taking their way to their talents more so to France in the coming days to represent Great Britain in the baseball European Championships. We get to those two individuals after a quick commercial break. Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, I can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What do you really? Hey, this ain't like you,
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out that trouble me.
Wow. What's your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I hot. I watching ball. I even watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Welcome back, viewers. As promised, I did say we have someone special. We have two special persons actually, but this is one of two. Miss Darier Malone. Obviously, welcome and thank you so much for your time and for spending it with us today. Firstly, I want to ask, obviously you're selected to represent Great Britain in the upcoming European Championships. Firstly, what did it feel like? Explain how the emotions and stuff that would have been going through your body and mind when you first heard that announcement.
Well, first hearing the announcement, even till this day, it's still a bit surreal. It is a blessing, I would definitely say, and I'm really grateful for the people that helped me to get to this level where I'm at right now and to keep me motivated and to keep me ready for this upcoming tournament.
And obviously, this is baseball. More often than not, we have the BVI, Virgin Islands Softball Baseball Association, but we mostly have softball here in the territory. What was it feeling like in terms of, did you expect to be selected for this?
Honestly, no, because I haven't played baseball since I was probably about, 13 or maybe even a bit younger than that. But it's something that was my first love, I would say. And honestly, I prefer playing baseball. I only played softball really, for collegiate reasons and what's not. And, my coach, introduced us into it and he motivated us to keep pushing towards the softball aspect because it was more for girls. But baseball, it's not too far off and I'm excited about it.
And in terms of, I mentioned that just now too, because in terms of more practicing softball on a regular basis than baseball, how has it been adjusting ahead of these very important championships, because European Championships are major?
Yeah, well, it's been a bit of an adjustment, but I wouldn't say it's been too much because especially being with my program that I started in December, Diamond Sporting Academy, my main focus right now is teaching baseball to the younger kids. So I was getting back into it since December and what's not. It was just now for me to be on the other side of the bat, the other side of the glove, feeling the balls, hitting the balls and stuff like that. I mean, it's been a bit of an adjustment, but not too much, I would say.
And in terms of, I want to talk about a little nickel you would have suffered in St. Croix recently, representing the national team. How is that injury? Are you, in terms of percentage, what percentage would you say you're almost back to normal when it comes to that particular injury you would have suffered in your finger?
Well, it depends on my activity at the moment. When it comes to hitting, honestly, I haven't had any problems with it hitting on the right side, but I'm not able to hit on the left side as yet. Like I used to do before. But when it comes to fielding and what's not, I'm a bit nervous sometimes because I don't want to re-injure the finger because it is still broken. But I'm not going to let that stop me from going away and representing my country.
And I also touched on that too because I do know you mentioned it. I'll be watching a few softball games. You're handy with both left and right hand when it comes to batting and stuff. You're multi-talented. Speak about that as well because what's your strength and what are your you don't have to highlight your weaknesses, but what are your strengths? Because it seems like you have so many strengths.
I would say my strengths are I like my glove. I'm pretty good with my glove. I can be a lot better if I practice a lot more. But being that I was more on the coaching side for a few months, I kind of took some time off with the glove and what's not. But with my glove and my bat, I used to be more of a power hitter, but now I kind of calm myself down to become more of a contact hitter. I just trying to get on base, trying to score runs, trying to help my teams as much as possible in any way that I can. Whether it's bunting, whether it's drawing a base on ball, whether it's getting a base hit, whether it's even getting a home run. I just trying to help my team in whichever way I can.
And what's the preferred hand when it comes to batting? Are you left-handed or you're usually right-handed?
I'm actually ambidextrous, but my dominant hand is my right hand.
Okay. So I assume going ahead and representing Great Britain, you'll be aiming to use bat right-handed.
Yes,
basically.
I will be batting right hand and throwing right hand.
Okay, great. And in terms of that note too, I know obviously you touched on it. You would have started your own business in terms of training young ones here with your Diamonds Academy. Speak about that too, because in the territory, softball is a national sport, but yet there's so much of a deficiency when it comes to having softball in the necessary areas. Speak about what more can be done from whether it be the association, whether it be from businesses, from government, etc., to bring back softball to that level of recognition that it should be?
Well, what I would say, it's no one in particular. It takes a community to get this sport back to where it was. Terrence Shinnery, God rest his soul, Coco Frank, man, that guy did so much for us throughout my entire life. And he just used to push, and he's my motivator, even, as he's passed. Like, I still, every day as you come in, as you see, you have to pass him every single day, And I always try to do what I would think that he would do. I would like for more fans to come out and enjoy the sport, because there are a lot of good games that are going on. I would like the schools to put more pressure on the people, to push the sport more, because it is the national sport, and a lot of kids don't know that. And a lot of them can't actually play because, a lot of them play a lot of backyard baseball and different stuff. It just need to learn the fundamentals and the rules and the game and, stuff like that. And that's one thing that I'm trying to do with my program, to help the kids understand, the game and the sport, the different rules and what's not. And, I just want everybody to come together and help us get the sport back to where it needs to be, because we have the potential, we have the talent, and believe me when I tell you, we have the talent.
And it's actually important that you actually mentioned that too, because from the perspective of recently the Olympic Association had a camp, a festival day at the Ewa Shirley Recreation Ground, where I spoke to Mr. Lefty. Where he would have spoken about, so much naturals like he would have seen on the day. Children that never played softball or baseball in their life before were naturals. What more can we do to get convince parents, okay, well, get your child involved in this sport? It is something that could be beneficial in the long run, because, ordinarily they may not see it from a local perspective, but there's so much opportunity out there that can be presented once they get involved, and later on they probably get a scholarship, etc., that could then further that. Speak on that.
Well, all the kids that I've signed up in my program, all the parents that I've spoken to, I tell them, I want you to look at it as an investment. You are investing in your child's future. When the two coaches came down and scouted me from college and what's not, that helped my parents a great much. I mean, yes, we did get some funding from the government with a scholarship and what's not, but that scholarship that you get from schools and what's not, when it comes to sports, it helps your parents a lot. And if you can further your education through athletics, which is actually my slogan, you would be surprised, how far you can get using a sport that you love to play and being able to still learn and grow as an individual.
And in terms of, I know you talk about speaking to get more parents getting their children involved and stuff, but what can we do also to get more females involved in the sport as well too?
Well, that's the tough part. I'm honestly going to tell you that's the tough part, especially being an educator at the Elmhurst High School. I try to get the girls more involved. My goal next school semester, is to get at least 15 to 20 girls out here, whether they just come out and try, for a bit. But what I would say is the association is doing a great job when it comes to reintroducing the sport back to the schools and what's not, because they have a goal. There's a BVI Little League that's coming up. There's also going to be a Little League on Virgin Gorda. And, boys and girls can join. And what we're just trying to do is try to push it so the parents could, okay, this is something to do. We don't just have to focus on the one or two little sports. I want our kids to be able to take part of all the different sports that are, introduced in the territory.
And also too, we want to just switch gears back to the upcoming games. You're creating history too in the territory. Speak about that feeling. I know initially when I read the media release from the Softball Association, it said that initially you did not disclose that information to your parents. You kept it to yourself because it was so surreal.
Yeah.
Speak about that firstly too.
Honestly, when I was first contacted by the pitching coach via Facebook Messenger, I honestly thought it was a prank. I was like, this can't be for real, And after having that Zoom meeting with all the coaches, I was just like, wow, like this is serious, And I called my parents. Well, not really called them. I actually called a family meeting, and I told them about it, and they were just like, "You serious?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I showed them the message and the emails and the WhatsApp, and they were so. My mom, she literally jumped up out of her chair. My dad, he is always there with me. My brother, all of them, they were just there with me. They were happy for me, and they were, there was one who would keep telling me, you're about to make history, and that's something that I would appreciate for the rest of my life, because it can't be taken away. No matter what is done, no matter what is said, it will go down in history what me and Claury are about to do.
And that's my next question too. Speak about having your teammate. You're all both on the same team synergy, and you guys are still undefeated. Already the first team,
yes,
male or female, to basically
that,
make the finals of the National Fast Pitch League. Speak about having her by your side over there as well.
Honestly, I met Chloe, obviously through Shino and was not being out here, but we were always really close. Like, we used, because she's a bit younger than me, so she used to stick to me, when we were younger. She might say no, but she used to stick around with me and what's not and things. But even with all trips that we take and what's not, we always, right next to each other. We had fun in our trip that we had in Santo Domingo and what's not. But Chloe is a great player. She can do some real damage when she goes up there. And I am praying and I'm hoping that she is the one that really takes off, because she is still young in her career. She can also be able to get a scholarship and all those different stuff. So, so I want to keep pushing her to do those things, because she has the capability, she has the talent. She just needed a bit of exposure, and that's what we're about to get. So it's really great that Chloe's been, able to come with us on this trip and what's not, because it's about to be some problems up there.
And speak about some individual goals. I know you spoke so highly about your colleague just now. Speak about some individual goals you intend to achieve, or you would at least aim to achieve, once selected to partake in any given game.
Well, honestly, my goal is to get there and to do my best. It would all depends on, how many games are played, because there are a lot of women, that will be on this trip and what's not. And my goal is to, whenever I get that chance to step in between these white lines, whether it's in shortstop on the field, whether it's in the home plate and what's not, to hit, I just want to do my best. I want to be able to get on base. I want to be able to run. I want to be able to field. I just want to be able to play. And that is my entire goal, is just to be able to do my best.
And any last words for those persons that are out there supporting you, your family looking on to this interview? Any last words for the fans that come out weekly to support you guys in the Fast Pitch League?
Well, what I would say is thank you to all of you guys, for the continuous support from all around, whether it's here in the BVI, whether it's in the States, whether it's in the different Caribbean islands. We really appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. Thanks to all the people that, the few individuals that keep me going and keep me pushing. I'm continuously grateful, and I don't think there's a way I can repay you guys. And that's why I honestly just want to do my best, because you guys and all of us deserve that.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Darier. On behalf of 284 Media and CCT, we will obviously want to congratulate you and wish you all the best in your trip over there, and hopefully you come back with a medal over your neck,
Hopefully, that's the goal.
Okay, great. Well, viewers, you would have heard from Darier Malone. When we return, we have Claury Scattlife, who would basically speak now on her behalf on her plans, her goals, softball in the territory, and so much more.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Welcome back, viewers. As promised, I have with me Miss Claury Scattlife. Just know behind the scenes we had a little difficulties pronouncing your name because there's so many variations according to people that basically say your name. But for those persons who always get it wrong, correct it for them this one final time.
Claury.
Claury. You heard it, viewers. Okay, so welcome, Miss Scattlife. I'm so honored to have you here. As you would have seen, I would have been just speaking to your colleague, Darier. Now I have you in my presence. Firstly, you're part of history, one of two that would have created history in terms of representing Great Britain in the upcoming Euro Championships in France. Firstly, speak about that and what was the feeling you would have had when you got the news, when the news broke that you were part of that team?
Well, I wasn't much surprised because I know if a team would have gone on there to represent the BVI, I would have been part of it. Because when I started playing, I played baseball first, then I switched to softball because obviously I'm a girl, and baseball is very much like a man play. So yeah.
And then you said it was no surprise. So I'm assuming walk me through the process. Like, did you know of the opportunity beforehand? Because based off my conversations I had with Darier, she was totally surprised when the announcement came through.
Yeah. I didn't know about it, so it was Kennard first who told me, Kennard Dawson. And then after that, Shadow told me about it. So I was like, yeah, I want to give it a try. First time playing baseball with women and having the opportunity to represent the BVI again.
And speak about your family as well too. How did they feel about this news? I mean, obviously, especially you represent not only the BVI in general, but you also represent the Spanish community as well. Speak about that.
Yeah, they was happy. They were just proud. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's history. I just said, your family proud. Your colleague just now would have speak so highly of you in so many ways. What are your plans now? You've been selected. You're about to take a trip to France. What are your goals ahead of this major tournament?
To play my best, and to look forward to more opportunities.
And in terms of what are your strengths too? Because for those persons who may be looking on, they may not have that knowledge of who Miss Scattlife is. What are your strengths when it comes to stepping on a softball or baseball field?
Grief is that.
In terms of or for example, Darier would have just spoken about being a batter in terms of she's diversity, being able to switch hit, etc.
Oh, you mean like
what are your strengths when it comes to playing softball? In terms of what are you best at?
I'm a utility player, so I could play everywhere. I could catch, except for pitching. I don't know. I'm not a softball pitcher, but I can outfield, infield, catch, bat. Yeah.
And in terms of as I was speaking to your colleague just now, oftentimes any territory is more softball, as you would have mentioned yourself too, than baseball. So what are the additions you would have had to add to your training regime to basically prepare yourself for the upcoming tournament?
It isn't much because, as I said earlier, I used to play baseball with the boys. We used to go down St. Thomas. I used to travel with the team, with the USVI team, to Atlanta, Florida. And the last time we played was at regionals. They had a regionals tournament in St. Thomas. So very much I had to do to prepare for the tournament. Just, bat more and practice more on my pitches. But that's That's a normal thing for me, baseball.
And for those young children looking up to you, you know, what advice would you give them to get young children more encouraged in playing softball and baseball in the BVI?
I would say, you know, if you have a feel, if you have love for the game, just keep practicing. You know, coming out on the field. Just do what you love to do, and the opportunity can come your way. You don't have to even look for it. Once you play your best and you're committed to the game, you'll be just fine.
And just lastly, how important is that support from friends and family when it comes to playing this sport in the territory? Because I'm sure there's obviously those moments when you are, you know, discouraged. You know, how important is the encouragement from your family members and friends and even your teammates in keeping you motivated and keeping you on track to basically achieving those goals that you intend to achieve?
They encouraged me, especially my uncle Karim Scattlife, and my family really come out of it runs in the blood, our softball and baseball, you know. So my uncle encouraged me. It's just they've been very, very encouraging, you know, and they telling me just this the opportunity that I should look forward to, cause it can bring more opportunities, you know.
And before we go, speak about some of the persons that would have helped you through training. I know some of the guys here would have been helping you as well. This is the opportunity to pick up some of those persons that would have been helping you over these last few days.
Shout out to Lefty, Kennard, Benop, Jancy. Yeah, they helped me throughout the process to train for this tournament.
Okay, great. And any last words for those persons that come out on the weekends and cheer you on in the National League? I do know I think you will be missing a few games at least. Okay, and how do you feel about that? You know, obviously you're a huge part of your team. You and Darier, two very critical members, will be away as your team have to fend off in the All-Stars, and then as well as I'm not sure if you'll be back in time for the finals.
Yeah, we'll be missing, I think, is 1 or 2 games out for the championship game, but I know those ladies could handle themselves. So
it's all good to go then.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, viewers, Claury, Scattlife, I want to thank you so much, and on behalf of 284 Media and CCT, we want to wish you all the best in your upcoming tournament. You know, hopefully, as I would have told your colleague Darier, hopefully you come back with some silverware as well. And regardless of the outcome, I'm sure that you will make the British Virgin Islands very proud.
We will. Yes, we will.
Okay, thank you so much. Viewers, you would have heard it from both Miss Malone and also Miss Scattlife. On behalf of 284 Media, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, bye-bye.